Hi everybody, Jackie Tradewell. Welcome to Walk with God. And I am back down south, back home. It's beautiful here. It's a really warm day. And I'm sitting on the back porch of our cabin in the mountains. It is just so peaceful. Tomorrow will be 1 week that we've been home. So forgive me for not being on sooner, but I needed this time to just transition from my trip and to reflect on all that my journey brought to me in the 2 months that I stayed in Pennsylvania. A lot of it was huge. And I think this is just going to be one of many videos that I will start with, as I promised you, to speak about abandonment and rejection, but most likely we'll be coming back many times over to revisit it, as these videos are a reflection of my own testimony with God in my own life and my own experiences, so that they can bless you and help you through anything that you may have in common with me or what you're dealing with. And my rejection and abandonment in my life started very, very early on in my childhood, unfortunately. But I know there's many of you out there that share this with me. And I'm 54 years old, soon to be 55, coming up this summer, and it's taken me literally 3/4 of my life to come to terms with certain things, to understand certain things, to heal from certain things of what abandonment and rejection can cause, especially when it's caused by the people that are family members, that are in your family, that you love and should be able to trust. That, I think, makes it, 1,000 times worse. Never mind if you have rejection or abandonment from friends. I think family is the toughest because we're born into families. We don't choose. We can't choose our family. We can choose our friends, but we can't choose our family. And certain family members, we wish or want different for them, better for them. But God gave us free will. And we all make our own choices, and we all choose our own paths. And since you all know I'm obviously a farm girl at heart, you notice there's no animals around me today. I'm really missing the barn animals, but there's an old saying for us horse girls, and that is, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And it's so true. And as some of you have been following these videos, you know that I've just returned from Pennsylvania for my father's funeral. And I wanted better for my dad. I wanted better for him and I. And you can't have a relationship with anybody that's one-sided. You need to have two people working at it. And even though you might want a better relationship with that person, if they're not willing, for one reason or another, you can't force that. You can only change yourself. And when we go through abandonment and rejection, especially from our loved ones or our family members, that causes some very deep wounds. And I did not come to know the Lord until I was 24. And then after I came to know him, maybe within 6 months to a year, it was during my first marriage where I realized I made a mistake. It wasn't going to work out. We were separated, and unfortunately the church at the time that I belonged to kind of turned their back on me. I was young, and I was really young in my relationship with Christ, and it just caused me to feel abandoned once again. I knew what that feeling was all too well, because before that I had lived with that sort of rejection and abandonment for years. And it made me walk away from church. It made me walk away from having a relationship with Christ, being close to God. Not that I turned into some kind of criminal, but for 26 years I just kind of went off and did what I wanted to do. And most of it wasn't really good, you know? I have a good heart, I'm a good person, but I was working through a lot of that pain, trying to keep so much in my own control, but not being guided with any godly, divine feeling. So, for you out there that are still suffering with abandonment and rejection, please don't be a victim to that. I have sympathy for you. I feel your pain. Nobody deserves that. But it happens, and it happens more times to more people than we probably even want to recognize. But what is it that we can do with our relationship with God? How is it that God, if we allow it and open up our hearts to God, how can He help us through that? He can. I think the first thing is to realize that everybody makes their own choices, no matter how painful. The only person you can change is yourself. And when you have a relationship with God and Jesus, you know that you are worthy beyond measure to Him. He loves you beyond anybody on this earth that could love you. We can't even wrap our arms around how much God loves us. We can't. Because we're not even capable of loving each other that much, even though we think we try. So we are very worthy to God. And so when we can embrace that worth and that love through Him, then we can start to heal and love ourselves, start to call out the lies and the distortions of what these loved ones or friends said or did to us through the abandonment and the rejection. Call it out. It's not true. And then to take that love that God gives us in our hearts and to weave that in our own heart to start to heal ourselves. And then when we heal, we can express that out into the world to others. And maybe that comes in many different forms. Maybe that comes in forms of not snapping at people right off the bat. Maybe it comes in forms of having more patience with people on the road when you're driving. Standing in long lines somewhere. It can come in many different forms. That's what we have to hold on to. That's what we have to think about. There were so many years of my life that I played the victim, that I used it, and then I manipulated others. No. And in some ways I'm glad I went through that experience, because I can look back now and know that, that was wrong. Or why did I do that? Even more importantly, we need to understand what abandonment and rejection does, and how do we express that outwardly, and why that is hurtful. So many people in the world that are mean, that are nasty, they are so not happy, and they're so full of hurt, and they don't know what to do with it, so they express it outwardly to others, and it's hurtful. I have to tell you all, and this may come off harsh to some of you, I hope it doesn't, but that going through this experience with my father and having it not be what I wanted for him especially, but even for me as well, with his death came a sense of freedom for me. I don't feel this heaviness and this weight around me anymore. I feel very light. I feel even more love has been able to enter into my heart and into my soul since his passing. And some people out there might be saying, "How can you say that? You know, your dad just passed away. Aren't you sad?" I was sad for my dad when he was here. I'm not sad for myself because I'm not a victim of anything that I might feel that my father put me through in this life, in my lifetime with him. 54 years I spent with him. No. And I think we need to just remember that these things are difficult to live through. None of us should be abandoned. None of us should feel rejection, but we do. And I'm somebody in the world that understands all of you out there that have gone through it, are going through it, or will go through it. And I really do believe that the answer through God is love. Love can heal. The expression of love to somebody else that's hurting can change a life. It can change a direction of somebody's life. There's so much power in that, we don't even realize it. There's almost like through my dad's death, there's more love that has come through his death for me, inside of me. And I know that may be hard for some of you to understand, but that's how I feel. And I know God gave me the grace and the strength to get through his death, to get through the last day that I saw him 4 days before he passed, to get through his funeral, to get through many different family dynamics that I had to get through. And it's all good. It's all good now. So this is kind of like maybe an introduction to rejection and abandonment. You know, thank you for having the patience to wait for me a week to get home and rest and restore and reflect on my time that I had in Pennsylvania. I'm feeling really good being back home here in the mountains of the South. It's so peaceful. It's so beautiful. It's quiet. And I just have such a deep, deep sense of peace within me. And I'm just trying to hold on to that for as long as I can, because I know more shifts are coming. I know I'm gearing up for the next cycle in my life, whatever that's going to bring. We all have highs and lows. We all go through transitions and transformations. And I know I've just come out of a big one, and I'm ready to go into another one. But as I promised you all, I wanted to at least bring this topic up and tell you that I love you and that I feel your pain, but I'm here to tell you, don't be a victim to it. Let God and his love come in to help you to heal, to help you to see on the deeper layers some things through these people that have abandoned you or rejected you. We always want to take it to heart, and we always want to think that it's us. There's something wrong with us. I don't believe that's true. And I think that's a lie. And I call it out. For me, the more I understand something, whether good or bad, the easier it is for me to work through it. And again, I'm going to say it again, love. Love, 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 love. Love as many people as you can, even the ones that are hard. You know, love them. Love yourself. We must love ourselves first, and then we can express the love out in the world. So here I am, all by myself, no farm animals around me, talking about something that's very important, but very heavy for a lot of you out there, and for me, most of my life, but not anymore. So if there's anything that you want to reach out to me about, any questions you may have on this topic, please email me, jackietradewell@yahoo.com. If you have any prayer requests, please contact me. But I've been in a lot of reflection since home and a lot of conversations with God, thanking Him for every challenge I went through in 2 months back home, for every interaction that was challenging that I had. There was so much that I had to thank God for. He kept my husband and I safe. He kept us healthy. I had some wonderful experiences along with the challenging ones. And I just have so much to be grateful for. So much that those 2 months in Pennsylvania taught me to put in my backpack of life experiences to take on with me now, or to help others through their tough times. So this is a little bit longer of a video. I hope you don't mind. I ran over a few minutes, but it's been great to see you all, and I hope to be cutting more videos a little bit more often than once a week, as the Lord will lead me, and talking about more topics or things that are coming up to help you all. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Have a great weekend. Love you all. God bless you. Until next time. Bye-bye.